Who am I? What a great question. I guess to start off, who am I? Let's go with how did I get here? So I am Don Scott. I grew up in Burlington, North Carolina, and then I went to boarding school outside of Philadelphia, and then college outside of Columbus, Ohio, to participate in lacrosse for both of those. It's from North Carolina. And then after graduation, I started my career in media sales in New York City. And then the allure of the South or home in the South was too much. So I was able to catch on with ISP Sports, which is now Learfield IMG College, at UAB in Birmingham, Alabama, and moved to Birmingham when I was 30. And it was a wonderful place to be there. 4 years at UAB. I was on the sales side. My whole career had been in sales. And then I saw that I really wanted to be on the administrative side. So I was able to go across the mountain, or over the mountain, I should say, to Homewood and to Samford University, where I was the director of ticketing, director of marketing, and then director of the Bulldog Club, the annual giving program, and licensing. And still single at this time, and then really, as my parents started to slow down and retire, was able to have a chance to move back home to North Carolina. Got a little burned out on college athletics. One of my passions is golf, as you'll find out about. And was able to move back to North Carolina about an hour from my home to Pinehurst Resort, the world famous Pinehurst Resort, and work for their ad agency as the account executive. So my entire day was spent still on the media side, but not in sales, formulating the branding, the strategy, and the media plans for the resort. But then, as everything says, college athletics gets in your blood. And it's a lifestyle, not a job. And I was fortunate enough to be recruited to where I am at Elon. But what you probably don't know about me is this. So I'm a husband, a son, and a grandson. I'm also a dad of a huge basketball player, a huge Clemson fan, and a Carolina Hurricanes fan, Steph Curry, and then, of course, he's an Elon fan and a Clemson fan again. I'm a huge golfer. And as you can see, a neat freak. And last but not least, I'm dad to a puppy dog. Penny, say hello. But you probably know me as the Assistant Athletic Director for Marketing and Communications at Elon University. I'm here in my office, as you can see, wearing my mask, as we all should be. Who would have thought about that? So in terms of who I am for the Assistant Athletic Director, well, I've got to increase revenue and attendance. So I get to do cool things like run our Facebook campaigns, create ads, but then also I get to create cool t-shirts and giveaway items for our for our students to come to the games, and also for our fans. I've been fortunate enough. I've won awards. So I've got some of my NACMA awards. Proud of those. And then from the communication standpoint, we've got game notes, and we've got our schedule posters and programs, so that we can inform, educate, promote, and protect Elon University. And of course, got to have my phone, social media, all of our streaming events that we do as well. I'm a very analytical thinker. I use the data available to me to provide a roadmap for our strategy, for our decisions, where we need to go. I believe I'm very good at my job. I've hit my goals. I've been promoted. I've been given stretch assignments. So people have entrusted me to steward their brand. And I can keep cool under pressure on the job. When the game gets intense, when things go haywire on a game script or at a press conference, I can keep my cool. I'm able to baseline myself and tell everyone else, and I shouldn't say it like that, but as a team, collectively get us to where we need to go. it's kind of funny that I can keep cool on that because, like a lot of people, I've got a high level of anxiety. I've talked to people about it. It manifests itself, on the golf course. I play a lot of competitive golf, and I've got nerves on the first tee. That's probably a good thing, but it takes me a while to settle in because of my anxiety. And then I have a real tough time with mental toughness of trying to finish those matches out. If I would have done this video 3 years ago, or God, almost maybe 18 months ago, it would have looked very different. I was not married. I didn't have kids. It's an immediate family with my 8 and 10-year-old stepchildren. And I had no idea I'd be getting my master's degree, for sure. But you evolve. You're not the same person you are as a 43-year-old than you are as a 23-year-old in New York City in the media business. And I've learned through Clemson and also in leadership roles, it's been tough trying to manage. I think of myself as a doer. So having to manage has been tough, but like everything experience, you get there. But your story and your authentic self is ever evolving discipline of who you are. And I think some mentors and certainly some of these classes, and then you, Jana, have been, unbelievably influential in that, believe it or not, just in our class exercises, but in our couple of email and text conversations. So, I've made changes just in these 6 classes as well. Everyone talks about servant leadership a lot. I've had an old boss who mentioned it all the time, and I wasn't a big fan of it because I wasn't a big fan of him. We never really saw eye to eye. But then actually getting involved in it and reading about it and having it, I always thought it was kind of BS. Now I love it. It's like, the rising tide lifts all boats. You can't see it, but, the 5 people in this suite that we all come together as our marketing and communications team that I manage, I want us all to get better. I don't want them to be here forever. I want her to go be the director of communications at John Carroll. I want Mary to go be the director of marketing at Indiana University, her alma mater. And Pierce, everyone that I manage, I want them to learn from me, get better, and then move on. I want to see them get better because if they do, then Elon gets better. And my job's changed as well. I was very external focused. It was just money and butts and seats, money and butts and seats. Well, now it's the internal focus. I've got to help tell the story for our student athletes. And wow, what a time to come into it during a pandemic and all the social, injustice that we're seeing in the world and having to tell the Elon story, but having to tell our student athlete story. Our student athletes are Black. A majority of them are Black, and a majority of the color in Elon comes from our student athletes. So that, along with all these 6 Clemson classes I've taken so far in 1 year, have made me more empathetic to see how they are. I never thought of myself as a racist, but as I said before, my silence didn't mean I was helping. And so, my empathy now can say, like, Black Lives Matter. I always thought all lives matter. And then someone said, cancer sucks, but you don't say, AIDS sucks too, and heart disease sucks too. And so I get it now. And we've got to have these uncomfortable conversations to make everyone feel comfortable on that. So I've learned a lot about myself through that, and then through the years, I've become very introspective. But also, I've hoped that I be myself, I be authentic, and that is that I don't want to be authoritative or command type. I want it be collaborative, but hopefully my experience will help everyone, evolve. So that's and get better. And if we do that, Elon gets better, you get better, I get better, and the world gets better. So that's who I am, and that's my personal story. And thanks for letting me share it.